Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru,
ਡੰਡਾਉਤ ਬੰਦਨ ਅਨਕ ਬਾਰ ਸਰਬ ਕਲਾ ਸਮਰੱਥ ਡੋਲਨ ਤੇ ਰਾਖੋ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਕਰ ਹੱਥ ਡੋਲਨ ਤੇ ਰਾਖੋ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਕਰ ਹੱਥ ਸੁਖ ਦੁਖ ਜਹ ਪਰਸੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੋਭ ਮੋਹ ਅਭਿਮਾਨ ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨ ਰੇ ਬਨਾ ਸੋ ਮੂਰਤ ਭਗਵਾਨ ਉਸਤਤ ਨਿੰਦਿਆ ਨਾਹਿ ਜਹੈ ਕੰਚਨ ਲੋਹ ਸਮਾਨ ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨ ਰੇ ਮਨਾ ਮੁਕਤ ਤਾਹੇ ਤਹਿ ਜਾਨ ਹਰਕ ਸੋਗ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੈਰੀ ਬੀਤ ਸਮਾਨ ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨ ਰੇ ਮਨਾ ਮੁਕਤ ਤਾਹੇ ਤਹਿ ਜਾਨ ਹਰਕ ਸੋਗ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੈਰੀ ਮੀਤ ਸਮਾਨ ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨ ਰੇ ਮਨਾ ਮੁਕਤ ਤਾਹੇ ਤਹਿ ਜਾਨ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। So what we just all listened to now was taken from Naumi Pacha Ji Slok. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji Slok start on Ang 1426. So Ang 1426 te that we all know famously, and they were called Bhog de Slok, and is that read at the end of Akhand Paths. That's 3 sloks that are taken out of Maharaj Ji Sloks out of 52 slok. And those 3 sloks of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, and they show us exactly what Birag is, and they tell us exactly what Birag is. Birag being that attachment that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji lived in their life. So often we see in life, we might talk about something, but Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, ਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਉਚਾਰੀ, when if Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji recited this Bani of Slok Mahalla Noma, before they even recited it, Maharaj Ji already lived out that Bani. From a young age, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji was living up to these words of the Slok that Maharaj Ji recited. So if we just take a look at these 3 Slok, Maharaj Ji start off with saying, Sukh dukh jeh parse nahi. So parse means to touch. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj saying, Kende Sukh dukh jeh parse nahi. That person that isn't touched by Sukh or Dukh. Sukh meaning happiness. Because what happens is often when happiness comes in somebody's life, they drown in that happiness. And then you get egoistic about that time. Je khushi da sama aave, kai vari bande nu home bhi ho jandi hai. And then instead of blossoming and looking towards Vaheguru Ji Akal Purkh in that moment of happiness, instead the opposite happens. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is saying, but that person, if a time of happiness comes into their life, sukh, dukh, and then even if a time of dukh comes into their life, if a time of suffering and difficulty comes into their life, Maharaj is saying, even then, sukh dukh jeh parse nahi. If that person isn't touched, whether it be by suffering, whether it be a time of happiness, and they remain the same, they remain in Sahaj Avastha, remain in like a balanced life, then Maharaj is saying, what is that person? Then this says, Lobh, Moh, Abhiman. And that person isn't touched by lobh, isn't touched by greed. And Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, if we look at their life, when Maharaj Ji was going to leave to go to Bakala, when they were going to leave Kirtpur Sahib, Maharaj Ji didn't take anybody's support and take any masans with them. The masans were those that travelled and collected the savant for Guru Sahib Ji's house. For Guru Nanak Path Ji's house, masans were those that travelled and spread the word and the savant ikkatha karke Guru Ghar vich liaunde hunde sige. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji didn't take the support of them, even though they could have used their power of being the son of a Guru. When they left Kirtpur Sahib and they went to Bakala, where they meditated for about 25 years, Maharaj Ji didn't take anybody's support. Instead, a lot of people, all they know is that Maharaji meditated in a cave for about 25 years, but Maharaji didn't take anybody else's money during that time. Maharaji themselves would go out and earn as well. जिन्नी भी महाराज जी आप किरत कर सकते सन, महाराज जी उस समय आप किरत करके आप उसका शक दे सके, and then the rest of the time they would spend in meditation. So lobh didn't touch them in any way, in any form of way in their life. And then this says lobh moh abhiman, and they're talking about that if you're not touched by sukh, if you're not touched by dukh, sukh dukh jeh par se nahi, lobh moh abhiman, you're not touched by abhiman means pride, moh means attachment. Then Maharaji said, what is that person? This is Kaho Nanak sun re mana. This is re means oh, this is e mere man. Kande tu sun. Kande oh kiya, that person that isn't touched by any of these things. Kande Kaho Nanak sun re mana. Kande so murat Bhagwan. Kande they're actually the form of God themselves. Bhagwan means Akal Purkh Vaheguru Rab. Kande e ta kande Rab di murti ya. Kande what you're seeing before your eyes kande is the form of Rab themselves. And Guru Sikh Pyare, if you look at all of these things, all of these qualities, who possessed all of these qualities? Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji possessed all of these qualities. If they said these things, they lived these things first. If we just look at more itself, if we just look at attachment, how is Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji not touched by attachment at all? They were married in their teens, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. Between the age of 16 or 18, Guru Sahib Ji was married. But then they didn't have a child for so many years because they were in meditation for about 25 years in Bakala. And then when Maharaji did leave Bakala, and jado Paragat hoye, they became the Guru, then Maharaji went and established Anandpur Sahib. As soon as Anandpur Sahib was established, so Maharaji's now been married for about 25 years to 30 years approximately, and still got no child in the house. So imagine what Mata Gujri is thinking. Look how much patience Mata Gujri ji had, the wife of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. She didn't complain once that you've not given me a child yet. She remained in so much patience. All these years have passed. When that time came when Mataji did fall pregnant, when Mataji was expecting Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha Ji, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji was called by some Sangat down from southeast. From Anandpur Sahib they travelled to east direction. And when they went to a place called Bihar. In Bihar, then Maharaji went to a place, in Bihar they went to a place called Patna Sahib. So imagine this, Mataji, they've not had a child for about 25 years. But Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, knowing that Mataji is now expecting, they've gone to a place where Mataji doesn't know anybody. They're in Bihar in a completely strange place. Then what does Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji do? As Mataji is expecting and Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha is going to come onto this earth, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji is called by more Sangat from further east, which is from Bengal, from a place called Assam. Guru Sahib Ji didn't say no to them because they knew they were troubled. They didn't say no, mere ghar koi pot jati janami is going to come into this world. Patsha Ji still left and listened to those cries. Even though they know that a child is going to come into their world, they didn't have any attachment to even that extent that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji left to go and sort out some disputes of the local kings of a place called Dhaka. Further east they went, which is now in Bengal. They weren't touched by more at all. So they were living up to the salok that Guru Sahib Ji recited. So sukh dukh jeh par se nahi, lobh moh abhiman, kaho nanak sun re mana, so murat Bhagwan. That Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, because they possessed these qualities, they were the form of Rab themselves. And then if you look at the second salok, then Maharaj Ji go on to say, this is ustat nindya nahe jahe. This says where there is no ustat, when somebody isn't, where they're not affected by praise at all. Jinni marji koi ustat kari jave, that person doesn't start to get egoistic about it. Ustat nindya nahe jahe. No matter how much they've been slandering, they're not affected by this at all. Ustat nindya nahe jahe. And then they say kanchan loha saman. Then Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji said kanchan means gold. Loho means from the word loha means metal. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Patsha is saying kanchan loha saman, that person that isn't affected by nindya, by slander, by praise, kanchan loha saman, they see gold to even be just alike metal. They don't see any difference between it. They're not attached to gold at all. Kende kanchan loha saman, kende barabar ya, kende lohe de barabar ya, kende loha osnu. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ that person, what is that person then? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨਰੇ ਮਨਾ ਮੁਕਤ ਤਾਹੇ ਤੇ ਜਾਨ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ know that person to be liberated. That person is completely free, that has no attachment to things like gold, that see it the same as metal. If we look at Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj's life, when did they practice this? If we go back to Maharaj's life when they were only 5 years old, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, Kanchan Loho Saman, they saw gold to be the same as metal. If they're saying this in their Bani, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji was free from this. 5 years old Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and their eldest son, their eldest brother, their eldest brother Baba Gurditta Ji, they were one of the sons from 5 sons they were from Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Patsha Ji. The eldest brother was Baba Gurditta Ji. They had a brother called Baba Atal Rai, they had a brother called Baba Ani Rai, they had a brother called Baba Surajmal, and then they were the youngest of the brothers. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Patsha Ji was the 5th, and they had a sister called Mata Viro Ji, Bibi Viro as our Panth knows. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji 5 saal di umar, if they are saying in their Bani Kanchan Loho Saman, that they saw gold the same as metal, they had no attachment to it. 5 years old, Guru Baba Gurditta Ji's wedding in the house, Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Patsha Ji's eldest son, the first child to get married of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Patsha. All the wedding party is coming, you know, up a barat ke and everybody's waiting for the barat to come. Baba Gurditta Ji is upon a horse, घोड़े उते चढ़े ने Baba Gurditta Ji, and they're coming, घोड़े उते चढ़ के आ रहे ने बाबा जी, and दूसरे पास्यों everybody's going to that direction and waiting eagerly to see the bride, to see the groom coming on a horse. Karke Guru Sahib de Shahbazade, it's the eldest son of the Guru, so everybody's waiting that direction. But Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, 5 years old, try and imagine this, they're living up to this slok at the age of 5. Guru Sahib Ji, they can hear somebody's teeth rattle. ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੇ ਠੰਡ ਆ ਨਾ, ਉੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਪਰ ਬਾਹਰ ਸੀਗਾ, ਆਪਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਅੰਦਰ ਬੈਠੇ ਹਾਂ, ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਠੰਡ ਹੈ, but imagine that time, ਠੰਡੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਸੀਗਾ, it was the time, it was winter time, and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji as a child, they can hear somebody's teeth rattle. ਜਦੋਂ ਦੰਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੱਜਣ ਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਆਈ ਨਾ, ਕੰਚਨ ਲੋਹ ਸਮਾਨ ਕੀਆ, to live up to these bachan, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji turned their face and they're not looking that direction that everybody else is looking. This child starts to walk towards that direction, and they see, ਜਦੋਂ ਵੇਖਿਆ ਨਾ, when their vision went upon somebody whose teeth were rattling, they see that there's another child there. That child slightly older than Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Patsha, but that child is sitting there nangej bhav, that child is sitting there naked with no clothes upon his body. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji very innocently says, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਠੰਡ ਦਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਏ ਹੋਏ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦੰਦ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਵੱਜਦੇ ਪਏ ਨੇ ਆਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ don't you know, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ it's the time of winter and you sit here naked, why would you do that, why would you come out of your house without any ਕੱਪੜੇ, without any clothes. ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦਾ no child would want this by choice, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਬੱਚਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਨੰਗਾ ਬੈਠੇ. ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਤਨ ਉੱਪਰ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਏ, why didn't your mother cover your body with any clothes then? And that child said, my mother would love to do that. The reason why my mother didn't cover my body because we haven't even got clothes within our house, ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰੇ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਤਨ ਉੱਪਰ ਪਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ. ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੇ ਗਰੀਬ ਹਾਂ, we live in so much poverty, we haven't got any clothes in our house to even put clothes upon this body. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Sache Paatshah, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji ne kanchan loho saman, if they've said these words ke ustad nindya nahe jaye, kanchan loho saman kaho nanak sunre mana mukt tahe te jaan, they were completely liberated, completely free, they had no attachment to anything, straight away without even a thought. ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਹਿਜ ਸੁਭਾਅ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, something that we do instantly. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਲਾਏ, and you know how Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji was dressed that day? Remember, it's their brother's wedding, they're the son of a guru, they had the best clothes on that you could ever imagine. Mata Nanaki Ji, their mother, picked out the best clothes for Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji that day. ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਪਏ ਸਨ, the best clothes that they could be ever wearing. They took off them clothes and they said to that bacha, this is ਲੈ ਬੱਚੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਨ ਢੱਕ, ਤਨ ਭਾਵ ਸਰੀਰ means body, ਤਨ means body, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ cover your body up straight away, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ so you can be taken away from this cold, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦੰਦ ਵੱਜਦੇ ਪਏ ਨੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਦੱਸ ਤੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੀਰੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ tell me my brother, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਾਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੀ ਹੈ, what have you got at home to eat? ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਜੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਪੈਸੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹੈਗੇ, ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਖਾਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ our house is empty from food as well. ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅੱਛਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ this must be the reason. This is why my mother must have drenched me and dressed me in gold today, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha said. They said, I've got kangan on today, I've got bangles of gold on today, I'm dripping of gold today. They said the reason for that must have been so I could give it over to you without even a thought. They said, you need food. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਲਓ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਵੀ ਸੋਨਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਉੱਪਰ ਪਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਮਾਤਾ ਨਾਨਕੀ ਨੇ, every piece of gold that they're wearing upon their body, Guru Sahib Ji takes each piece off and they put it in the choli, they put it in the bowl of that child, and they say, ja, can they tell your mother to sell all of this gold, that jinna vi tada sama languga, how much ever time is going to pass in your house with food from this gold, can they ja ke, can they raj ke khayo, can they is din 5 saal di umar Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. I remember now Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, the wedding party is coming, othe barat aundi pei a, and they're one of the sons, Mata Nanaki Ji. Imagine that moment, Mata Nanaki Ji turns around and she sees one of her sons, one of her children running around naked. She goes, "Enu ki ho gaya ya?" She goes, "Main bade sone ede tan upar kapde paye, I've put the best dress on him, eda sona kithe gaya sara? Where's all of his gold gone?" She runs towards Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, she picks him up and runs back into the house. The ghare jaake, she takes him back into the house and she goes, "Where's all of your gold gone? Where's all of your kapde gone?" But Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, from an early age, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji stayed in Bairag, bolde bahut ghat san. They spoke very less. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha Ji chup. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha Ji kuch bhi nahi bole. But what is being said in the air? What is resounding in the air? What is Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha Ji telling the world? Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha is telling the world, the same मैं तानू आउण दे समय बारे दस रहा हां. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji chup ne, but in the air Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is saying that I am telling you about the future, the time to come. They saying, "Oh Mata Ji, eh meri Mata Ji, oh my mother, कहंदे आज तक कहंदे मैं मेरे शरीर तो कहंदे कपड़े लाए ने ना तो मैं नंगा हो गया हां." They saying, "Mata Ji, I couldn't bear to see somebody naked today, because my heart was pulled, my compassion was, the strings of my compassion was pulled so much from inside. I became naked, I took off my clothes. But Mata Ji, that such a time is going to come, such a time is going to come in the future, कि किसी दे धर्म नूं किसी ने यतन करना नंगा करन वास्ते. That somebody is going to be so tyrant, they're going to be trying to make somebody's dharam, somebody's religion, they're going to be trying to make it naked. They're going to be ripping and tearing them apart, oh Mata Ji." This is what Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha is trying to tell them about the future. They're saying, "All I did was, Mata Ji, today I've only taken these clothes off. Mata Ji, such a time is going to come in my life that I'm going to make my complete body into a blanket, and I'm going to cover somebody's dharam from becoming naked, and I'm going to give my whole body, I'm going to make my body into a black blanket and cover their dharam from becoming naked." This is what Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is telling the future of what they are going to do. Ustat nindya nahe jahe kanchan loh saman. If Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha said in this slok, at the age of 5 they are showing that I lived up to this as a child. I am able to say this, saying kanchan loh saman, I see gold and metal to be no different. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਰਾਬਰ ਨੇ. And people today ਅੱਜ ਬਹੁਤ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਨੇ, we get questions that say ਸੋਨਾ ਪਾਉਣਾ ਗਲਤ ਆ. They say, is it wrong to wear ornaments? Is it wrong to do these things? ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ. I give one answer. I go, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਬਣ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, if you can become like Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, if you can wear a piece of gold upon your body and you're walking down the street and your heart is pulled because you can't see the hunger of somebody, and in an instant you don't feel it one little bit, and you can rip that gold off your body and you can put it into their begging pole, ਫਿਰ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਪਾਉਣਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਾਓ, because ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫਰਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਉਣ ਵਿੱਚ. Because then it doesn't make a difference to you that you're wearing it, because you're not attached to it. You can take it off just like Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha did. But who's at that level? कोई विरला ही होगा गुरसिख प्यारियो. That's why it's safer. That's why I say it's safer to take the other option and not take the risk and not wear it, just in case कि ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਚੁੰਬੜ ਨਾ ਜਾਈਏ ਉਸ ਸੋਨੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ. That we don't end up getting attached to it and wrapping ourselves around it. So then Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, then they go on to say in the third slok, then this is hark sog ja ke nahi. This is that person that isn't touched by hark. Hark means joy, sog means sorrow, and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha, not ever in their life were they touched by these things. Even if a time of joy came, you know when that time of joy came when Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pacha in the roop of Guru Gobind Rai, when Gobind Rai came in Patna Sahib, was born in 1666, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji was sitting in a place called Dhaka. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji was sitting around the Sangat when Hark, Sog, Jaake Nahi, they weren't touched by Hark. They weren't touched by joy at all. It didn't bring them down in any way. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha is sitting miles upon miles away from where Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pacha is born. They had their eyes closed. The Sangat is sitting just like the Sangat is sitting around here today. Guru Tegh Bahadur, that moment when Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pacha Ji was born, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji's face changed. They always had a Bairagi face. They always had a very emotional face. But that day, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha Ji had a big smile on their face. That Bairag changed to a big smile. And the Sangat said, oh Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, why did your chehra, why did your face change? From being normal to how it always is to a smile, that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha कहने लगे कहंदे हुण गुरु नानक पातशाह दा कहंदे 10वां जामा कहंदे इस धरती ऊपर आ गया है. कहंदे the 10th form of Guru Nanak Paatshah has just come upon this earth. But did Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha Ji then leave at once to say, I need to go and see my son? No. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji stayed with the Sangat and continued solving the disputes that was going around with this local kings of Assam, of Dhaka. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha wasn't attached. They didn't drown in joy. They didn't say, I need to go off now and start partying. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha Ji, they still stayed with the Sangat. And Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, how long did it take? 6 saal baad. Most of our itihas, our history writes that some history writes that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji about 3 to 4 years later, they went back, they actually went to Patna Sahib, but some of our history writes that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha went straight to Anandpur Sahib and didn't see Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pacha until they were 6 years old. 6 years old. Udo tak nahi si dekhya apne putter nu. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, Hark Sog Jaake Nahi, Sog, sorrow. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, so much sorrow in their life as well. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, now they're about 6-7 years old. And then they've got a brother of about 8-9 years old. 2-3 saal badde ne Baba Atal Rai. Baba Atal Rai was only 8 or 9 years old when Baba Atal Rai passed away. They passed away in front of the eyes of this child of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji. They didn't let this time become sorrow for them. They didn't let this drown them. But they saw their own brother pass away in front of their eyes at such a young age. Instead, they let it be their strength and they went even deeper into meditation. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji did. In their time as a child, they saw people like Bhai Gurdas Ji pass away. They saw people like Baba Buddha Ji pass away. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji did. So khair Gursikh Pyareo, that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, that wasn't touched by any of these things. Hark Sog Jaake Nahi, Bari Meet Saman. They didn't see any difference between between an enemy and a friend. They treated them all the same. Kahu Nanak Sunre Mana, Mukat Tahe Te Jaan. Now Gursikh Pyareo, that sama came in Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji's life. That time came in Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji's life when they are sitting in Anandpur Sahib. Imagine that moment. Oh, keho ja sama hoga Gursikh Pyareo. Guru Gobind Rai Paatshah no Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah 5 saal di umar hoi. They've turned 5 years old. They're in Patna Sahib, but they fall into so much birag and they turn around and say to their mother, "Kende hon Mata Ji kende asi Patna diyan galiyan vich bahut khed liya Mata Ji. We've played in the galiyan of Patna so much now. Kende par hon andro khech pendi hai, inside is being pulled. That I want to go and see my father Guru now. Kende I can't remain without him anymore now. Can they take me to him straight away?" And as they were traveling from Bihar, they said it took about a year approximately. They stopped off in many places. But imagine what that moment would have been, the first time when Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pacha Gobind Rai would have seen their father Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji was at the age of 45 years old when they had Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pacha. They're about 50 years old now. And that first time when they must have seen, our history by Veer Singh Ji writes about this time beautifully. They said that first time when Gobind Rai, when they came and they reached Anandpur Sahib, jado Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Paatshah Ji do aaye ne na, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਰਾਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ 6 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ just laid in the ਚਰਨ of ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ for so long, ਕਿੰਨਾ ਚਿਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈ ਰਹੇ। Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pacha just remained in the charan of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha Ji for so long. Much time passed and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is looking down at Gobind Rai and Gobind Rai looks up at Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਵੱਖੜੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ। They said and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji embraced, and Bhai Veer Singh Ji writes, they said it felt, that moment felt when they took them into their embrace, ਜਦੋਂ ਜੱਫੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਆ ਨਾ, Bhai Veer Singh Ji writes beautifully, it felt like water and water had merged together. You couldn't even feel and see the difference. They said it was just like the light, two jyoਤਾਂ merging together. ਜਿਵੇਂ ਦੋ ਜੋਤਾਂ ਆਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਲਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਨਾ, ਫਰਕ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਦਿਸਦਾ ਪਿਆ. You couldn't see the difference. That moment was beautiful. They hugged for so long. But now, Gursikh Pyareo, that tyrant leader of that time, Aurangzeb. If we look at the background of Aurangzeb, we think that Aurangzeb, he was a tyrant only towards the Sikhs. No, Gursikh Pyareo. Was he a tyrant only towards the Hindus? No, Gursikh Pyareo. He was so power driven, he was so crazy for power. He wanted that throne so bad that when such a time came in his life, when he's seeing that Shah Jahan, his father, the emperor of that time, he sees that Shah Jahan is favoring Dara Shikoh. He was a very good son, a very noble son, Dara Shikoh was. Dara Shikoh, he was an ashik of Guru Har Rai Patsha Ji, of Satme Patsha. He saw that his father, Shah Jahan, is going to give the throne to Dara Shikoh. So what does he do? Aurangzeb, he starts to build an army of his own. He had plenty of his father's money. He started to buy out people. He started to buy out the army of his father. He got them to actually turn on Shah Jahan, the emperor of that time. And Aurangzeb, he got his own father, before he was the emperor, he got his own father imprisoned. That's how tyrant he was. He didn't give his father anything to eat. He didn't give his father anything to drink. Na kuch peen vaste, na kuch khaan vaste. Ek bari si, there was a little window where Shah Jahan, the emperor, the father of Aurangzeb, he used to just go for a little breather. There was a little breeze that would come into the prison cell. He would go there and just take some fresh air from outside. There was the river Jamuna flowing and passing by. And what would Shah Jahan do? Just to get some light into his eyes, he would look at that beautiful flowing river. Aurangzeb was so cruel, he got that window covered up so his father couldn't look outside anymore. And Gursikh Pyareo, फिर Shah Jahan ने पता की किता? Shah Jahan ने एक चिट्ठी लिखी. Shah Jahan wrote a letter to Aurangzeb. How stubborn-hearted was he? How cold-hearted was Aurangzeb? Shah Jahan writes in that letter, Kenda Putter, Kenda listen, Kenda Aurangzeb, Kenda my son, Kenda you are trying to convert the Hindus. You call the Hindus kafirs. You call them ke ehe murtiyan di puja karde ne, that they are non-believers, that they will rot in hell. And your aim is to convert all of them into Musliman, to make them into Mu'mins, into Musliman. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਰ Aurangzeb, ਤੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you yourself is not a Mu'min. Mu'min means Musliman. Mu'min means somebody that's got a Mu'min dil, a dil that is very delicate and soft. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ let me tell you Aurangzeb, how can you call yourself a Musliman? You are not a Musliman, your heart is not soft and delicate. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you don't give your alive father, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ those Hindus that you call kafirs, non-believers that are going to rot in hell, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ let me sketch a little picture of you. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ your father is alive. Your father is alive, and what are you doing to him? You don't give him even a glass of water to drink. I am dying of thirst in this prison, but those Hindu brothers that you call kafirs, but tu ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖ, even when their ancestors are died, ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਪੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਰ ਜਾਣ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਫੇਰ ਵੀ ਪਾਣੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਸਿੱਟਦੇ ਸੂਰਜ ਵੱਲ, ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੇ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਰਦਾਦੇ ਆ, ਕਿ ਮਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਪਾਣੀ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਵੇ। ਉਹ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਮੋਮ ਦੇ ਲਿਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਮਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਪਾਣੀ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਵੇ। ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਉਂਦੇ ਪਿਓ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਪਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਕਾਹਦਾ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you haven't even given your own father a glass of water whilst he's alive. What about those Hindus? They go and throw water towards the sun and hoping that those ancestors that have died, that they can get some water. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ how cruel are you? Look at yourself, Aurangzeb. This is the type of person he was. He actually got then Dara Shikoh, the one that was supposed to sit on the throne, he got him killed. Gursikh Pyareo, Aurangzeb did many things, and then his aim was, then he spread the word out to all the governors. He said, what I want you to do, how do I want you to get all these Hindus converted? Because I want you to try 3 things in order. First thing you do is you try and lure them with money. जिन्ने भी हिंदू आ कहते मुसलमान बनने चाहिए आ कहते हिंदुस्तान विच केवल एक धर्म रह जाना चाहिए and that is Islam. There should be nothing left in Hindustan. So the first thing you do is you lure them by money, because there will be plenty, because that's all it will take for them. कहता पहली गल तुसी पैसे दा लालच देना उन्हां नूं. Then कहता दूसरी गल कहता if they don't listen then he said you go a little heavy on them. Then you bully them a little. कहता you put fear inside of them. You tell them that you're going to kidnap their family, you're going to do whatever you need to do, you need to rough them up a little bit, you do whatever it takes. The third thing you do, if they still say no, then kill them. There shouldn't be anyone left. And then he attacks the most predominant places of the Hindus, where they had their big universities, where they taught the Veds and the Shastras and everything, how to become scholars. So they first attacked places like Banaras. The biggest mandirs that they had in Banaras, he got them, he got them to break them down. He then started to attack places like Kurukshetra, where the Mahabharata Jang happened. Even those places jehdi yaad vich ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਰੱਖੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਜੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਮੰਦਰ ਢਾਏ. They went and brought those mandirs down as well. And then Gursikh Pyareo, they said, now I want you to go and attack Kashmir. This is Kashmir are those pandits, are very learned scholars of the Hindu Dharam. They know the Veds so well. They are where the place where Hinduism is stemmed from. That's where people come and learn about their faith. That's now where I want you to attack. But the person, the governor of Kashmir, he was very soft-hearted, a very nice man. So then what does Aurangzeb do? He gets him changed. Gets him changed to somebody called Sher Afghan Khan. So Sher Afghan Khan becomes the governor of Kashmir. And he says to the Pandits, he gives them the same 3 options. He approaches their leader, the Jathedar of the Pandits, whose name was Kirpa Ram. He says the same thing to them. He said, do you want money? Jinne bhi paise chahiye tuse le lo. He goes, because if we convert you, then we're sorted. Because we know once the leaders come into our hands, then what Hindu are going to be left? Everyone's going to follow you guys. They says, take the money. And this says, oh, this says, we're going to come heavy on you guys. This says, oh, kehne ja maut kabool kar lo. Othe pandita ne bahut na salah ਕੀਤੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕੀਤੀ. They all sat down here, the Pandits did. ਆਮ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ there were 16 to 19 of them ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੁਖੀ ਸਨ, right? And they sat down, ਉਹਨੇ ਸਲਾਹ ਇਹ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਬਣਾਈ, let's say to Afghan Khan, let's say to him to give us at least 6 months. 6 months time, if we don't come up with anything, and then you can, whether you want to kill us, whether you want to convert us, then we'll see in 6 months time. But ਸਾਨੂੰ 6 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਦੇ ਦੇ. And what they did was, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕੀਤੀ, this is ਆਪਾਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਤੀਰਥ ਯਾਤਰਾ ਕਰੀਏ. Let's go around and do some pilgrimage, and maybe something will come to us what we need to do. So then our history writes they went to a place called Amarnath. Amarnath is a place of where Shivaji is worshipped. So one of the deities, the 3 main deities of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, one of them from Shivaji, in Amarnath, there's a big shivling there in a big cave. And it's only open for a few months of the year in the summertime. There's a big shivling, like you've probably seen, like this round stone that they jeno poojde ya kafi Hindu jeno shivling kende ya. It's made out of ice. All the Pandits have gone to Amarnath. ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੂਜਾ ਕੀਤੀ, ਪਰ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਸੌਂਗੇ ਨਾ ਪੰਡਿਤ, Kirpa Ram, the Jathedar of the group, when he fell asleep, he had a dream at night. ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ਿਵ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਨਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਦਿੱਤੇ. ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ਿਵ ਜੀ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਸਰਾ ਰਹਿ ਗਿਆ. You've got no support left in life. If there's anybody now that is going to support you, if there is anybody that's going to save this drowning dharam, and that is that person that is in the 9th form of Guru Nanak Sache Pacha, now you'll need to go to Anandpur Sahib to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha. There is nobody else left now that will hold your arm. Go Pandits to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji now. Sufne which in the dream of Kirpa Ram, Shivji said go to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. ਇਹ ਪੰਡਿਤ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ now these pandits have left towards that direction to Anandpur Sahib ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਆ ਕੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕੀਤੇ ਨਾ there's a poet called Pat Chand. Pat means poet and his name's Chand. Pat Chand writes very beautifully. He sketches a scene of that time when they came to Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Maharaj ji. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Maharaj ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਾਹੇ ਅਸਾਡੀ ਪਕੜੀਏ Sri Har Gobind ke Chand. This is all Guru Sri Har Gobind ke Chand. Chand means moon. They're saying the moon of the 6th Guru, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Paatshah. Chand, the moon meaning the sun. Kende, oh the son of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Paatshah. Kende, bahe asadi pakdiye. Kende, will you take hold of our arm? Kende, tusi sadi baah fadunge? Kende, hun sanu koi nahi puchda. Kende, we've been everywhere but nobody is willing to help us. The Rajput Rajas, the hill chiefs, nobody is willing to help us. Those even that call themselves the Khatris, the warriors of the Char Varan. Kende, par Guru Tegh Bahadur ji kende bahe asadi pakdiye. ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਕਵੀ ਦੇ ਰਚਨਾ ਦੇ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ gave them a ਜਵਾਬ ਤੇ gave them an answer. ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਚਰਨ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਚਿਤ ਚਰਨ ਕਮਲ ਕਾ ਆਸਰਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੈ ਪੰਡਿਤੋ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣੋ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ listen to this ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਚਿਤ ਚਰਨ ਕਮਲ ਕਾ ਆਸਰਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੇ take the support of ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ of ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਚਰਨ. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji ne kevਲ ਇੱਕ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜਿਆ. Always Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Maharaj ji connects everybody back to ਇੱਕ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਚਿਤ ਚਰਨ ਕਮਲ ਕਾ ਆਸਰਾ ਚਿਤ ਚਰਨ ਕਮਲ ਸੰਗ ਜੋੜੀਏ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ attach yourselves to the lotus feet of the ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ. ਜੋੜੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮਨ ਲੋਚੇ ਬੁਰਾਈਆਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਨ ਆ our mind is always going towards the direction of ਬੁਰਾਈਆਂ of towards negativity. Our mind is always playing us up. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮਨ ਲੋਚੇ ਬੁਰਾਈਆਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗੁਰ ਸ਼ਬਦੀ ਇਹੋ ਮਨ ਹੋੜੀਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਰ ਇਸ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋੜੀਏ means to return. Taking something away from somewhere ਕਹਿੰਦੇ take your mind away from negative thoughts. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹੋ ਮਨ ਹੋੜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਜੋੜੋ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ now focus your mind, absorb your mind in the Guru's way of life, in Guru Nanak Padshah Ji's way of life. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗੁਰ ਸ਼ਬਦੀ ਇਹੋ ਮਨ ਹੋੜ ਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ. ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੁਣੋ ਪੰਡਿਤੋ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣੋ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਬਾਂਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫੜ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਾਂਹ ਦੁਆਰਾ ਛੱਡਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ once you take hold of somebody's arm ਕਹਿੰਦੇ but never let go of that arm again. ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you're asking the support of my arm, you're saying to me will I take hold of your arm. ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਾਹੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਕੜੀਏ. ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਹਿਣਗੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ if I take hold of somebody's arm ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਾਹੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਕੜੀਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਦੀਜੇ ਬਾਹੇ ਨਾ ਛੋੜੀਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਫਿਰ ਸਿਰ ਦੇ ਦੂੰਗਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹੁਣ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪੰਡਿਤੋ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡੂੰਗਾ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ listen you scholars ਕਹਿੰਦੇ if you've come for my support ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਾਹੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਕੜੀ if I take hold of anybody's arm ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਦੀਜੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I'll give my head for that person. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਾਹੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਬਾਂਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਂਹ ਫੜ ਲਈ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਿਰ ਦੇ ਦੂੰਗਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਂਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡੂੰਗਾ. ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਧਰ ਪਈਏ ਧਰਮ ਨਾ ਛੋੜੀਏ. ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਧਰ ਪਈਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁਣ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਟੋਟੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁਣ ਬਸ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਟਣਾ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ we're not going to move back now no matter what happens, not any cost now. And then Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Maharaj ji, they walk over to Gobind Rai. 9 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ 9 years old Guru Gobind Singh ji ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੂੰ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਰਾਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਲਾਹ ਦੱਸ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ tell me ਕਹਿੰਦੇ what should happen for these. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ they need somebody, a great person, they need now to sacrifice their life for them to save their drowning ਧਰਮ. ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ without even a thought ਕਹਿੰਦੇ oh father ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ oh dad ਕਹਿੰਦੇ who greater than you ਕਹਿੰਦੇ oh dad ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I've looked around, there is nobody greater than you on the earth at the moment. Of course it's going to be you that goes and sacrifices your life for them. ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਯਤੀਮ ਹੋ ਜਾਊਂਗਾ you'll become fatherless, child. You're going to be left on your own. Aren't you worried about that? You're 9 years old. You want to grow without a child, without a father upon your head? Gursikh Pyareo te Guru Gobind Singh ne jehड़ा jawab ditta na, the answer that Guru Gobind Paatshah ji gave here, they said, "Oh Father, I am only one. Oh Father, if you leave me today, you're going to leave one child without a father on his head. But oh Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, if you stay for me, for the sake of this one child, if you don't go today to Delhi, oh Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, for the sake of this one child, thousands upon thousands of Hindu children, of my Hindu brothers, they will have to become fatherless. So no father, I am willing, this one Gobind Rai is willing to become fatherless, to save those thousands of children, to keep their fathers above their head." Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah ne 9 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਇਸ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ। ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਸਮਾਈਲਸ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪੁੱਤਰ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਤਿਆਰ ਆ। He is ready for the throne. He is ready to take the ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ. He is ready to take the responsibility of the house of Guru Nanak. ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, ਪਰ ਸੋਚੋ, ਫੇਰ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਪੇ ਤਾਂ ਪੁੱਤ ਦਾ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਾ ਸੀ ਨਾ, still a father and a child. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji ne aap Gurmukhi akhar sikhaye Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah nu. They taught Gurmukhi themselves to Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Only 3 years they've only had 3 years to see their child play, from the age of 6 to the age of 9. And today Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Paatshah, when they see this, when they see what their child has said, well, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah said, they go back to the Pandits. It says, "Oh Pandits, go back to Lahore. Tell the governor of Lahore that you have got somebody, that you got somebody above you now, that aj ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਬਾਹ ਪਕੜਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ." Go and tell them, if they are able to convert Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, this person that is holding your arm today, if they are able to take me and convert me into Islam, then tell them that all of the Pandits will take Islam as well. But if they're not able to convert me, then they are not to say anything to you. Unhon nu aasra ho gaya. Today they've got support in their life. Gursikh Pyareo, and then Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, they walk over back to Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah, but this time not as a guru. First they went and spoke to them as a guru to see if they're ready, but now they've gone as a father. And now they take Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah Ji naal gale naal kut ke la liya, seene naal. They look at Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah's face and they know that I'm not going to see this chair again. ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਆ ਨਾ ਹੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਪੁੱਤ ਨੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਹੁਣ ਸੀਸ ਵਾਪਸ ਜਿਉਂਦਾ ਸੀਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਵੇਖਣਾ। ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਰੱਜ ਕੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕੀਤੇ, until they completely filling their inside. They keep looking at Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Paatshah, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah, ਨਾਲ ਜੱਫੀ ਘੁੱਟ ਕੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਘੁੱਟ ਕੇ ਪਾਈ ਗਏ. They kept embracing each other even tighter. But now then Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Paatshah Ji, now they walk over to their mother. ਹੁਣ ਇੱਕ ਮਾਂ, ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, ਇੱਕ ਮਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਪੁੱਤ ਦਾ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਾ, ਇੱਕ ਮਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਨੂੰ ਤੋਰਨਾ ਆ. A mother now has to let her son go. A mother comes over and not a guru in front of her, she sees her son in front of her. The Mataji is old now, her hands are shaking and she puts her hands on the head of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, Asees Diti. Mataji ne Asees Diti, she gives a blessing to a child, but Mataji kuch bol nahi sake. They're not able to speak. But Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji kende maa, kende cheta o sama. Do you remember that time when Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, when Pitaji, when your husband, do you remember when they were going to leave their body? Do you remember when they gave the Guru Gaddi, when they gave the throne to Guru Har Rai Patsha? Do you remember that time in Kirtpur Sahib, oh mother? Can you remember that time when father came over to us and you was worried about me? You were saying that he doesn't talk. You were saying that he just sits in meditation. You said to your husband, you said to my father, what is going to happen about him? Do you remember, mother? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਹਰਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਖਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਇਹਦਾ ਫਿਕਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਯੂ ਨਾਟ ਟੂ ਵਰੀ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਹਿਮ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹਨੇ ਇਸ ਧਰਤੀ ਤੇ ਆਪੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, that nobody has done before, nobody has done and nobody will do। ਉਹ ਮਦਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਮਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਸਮਾਂ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੁਣ ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ, that ਕੰਮ, that job that father had said that I've come on this earth to do, oh my mother, that time has come now। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮਾਤਾ ਚੇਤਾ ਫਿਰ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਖੰਜਰ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ, they gave us a dagger as well, father did, and ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ gave us a ਗੋਟਕਾ as well। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਰਮਾਲਾ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ। ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਸਮਾਂ that time has come for me to do that big job. And then ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ they walk over to Mata Gujri ji, their wife. But this was one meeting that nothing was exchanged, no bachan. ਕੀ ਬੋਲਣ ਇੱਕ ਪਤੀ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਚਲਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਪਤਨੀ ਬੜਾ ਹੌਂਸਲਾ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਮਾਤਾ ਗੁਜਰੀ ਨੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਮਾਤਾ ਗੁਜਰੀ Gujar means to pass. Mata Gujri, many things passed in her life, Gursikh Pyareo. Many things passed in Mata Gujri. बहुत कुछ गुजरिया Mata Gujri दे जीवन अंदर. माता गुजरी ने 25 साल अडीक कीते गुरु तेग बहादुर जी महाराज जी भगती विच बैठे सन बकाले दी धरती उपर. They sat in meditation for 25 years. बहुत कुछ गुजरिया. She waited for nearly 30 years for a child. पर वो भी समा गुजर गया. That time passed as well. पर माता गुजरी accepted that time sweetly. Now oh hun sama gujaran laga, but now that time is about to pass when her husband in front of her eyes is about to walk to Delhi and not return again. Oh vi hun sama gujaran laga, that time is about to pass as well. Par Mata Gujri upar hale bahut kuch gujarna, but loads of things yet is come to Gujar, is gonna come to pass in the life of Mata Gujri Gursikh Pyareo. When she's gonna see those छोटे ज़ायदे in front of her eyes, वो भी समा गुजरना माता गुजरी दे जिंदगी अंदर. Nothing is exchanged. They remain quiet. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah ji ne. They've met Guru Gobind Singh ji Paatshah. They've met their Mata ji, and they said to the Pandits, Jaki Dasadu, can you go and tell them? Guru Tegh Bahadur ji ne ਤਿਆਰੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਵੱਲ ਤੁਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Maharaj ji gets ready to go towards Delhi now. ਹੁਣ ਵੇਖ ਲਓ ਔਰੰਗਜ਼ੇਬ ਨੇ ਭੇਜਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ. Aurangzeb, remember, hasn't sent anybody yet to Delhi to go and get Guru Tegh Bahadur ji, but Guru Tegh Bahadur ji is going themselves without even being arrested, without even being forced. The Pandits have gone back and told Afghan Khan to go and tell Aurangzeb that we've got somebody supporting us now, we've got somebody above us now, we've got a Guru as well. If that Guru has said, if you're not able to convert him, that you're not to say anything to us, Aurangzeb said it, so that's fine. He sends then his people towards that direction to come and arrest Guru Tegh Bahadur ji, but Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah is walking towards Delhi themselves. When Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Maharaj ji reached a place called Agra, Agra jaake na Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah ek darwaja khadkaya jaake. They go and knock on a door in Agra. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah did. Andro awaaz aayi. There was a voice that came from inside of this house. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji is about to go and give Shaheedi. But how much किन्ना क नवाजदे ने गुरु साहब जी अपने सिखां नूं याद करके दा वेखो. You to try and remember Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah ji today. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah ji will give darshan even today. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah is on the way to Delhi, but when they stop off in a place called Agra, they've knocked on a door from inside. A voice, a very old voice in the roop of Mata in Bibi Jassi ji. उन्होंने आके कहंदे कौन है? She said, who is it outside that's knocking on this door? There's a Mata sitting inside of this house in Agra sewing something. She's come to the end of sewing what she's sewing. She's sewing a beautiful chola, a khaddar da chola, a very thick chola, very thick kurta. Baro awaz aayi. Who is with Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Maharaj ji? 5 Sikh are with Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Maharaj ji. With Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah is Bhai Mati Daas. Bhai Mati Daas is the Diwan. The Diwan means the minister of the Guru's house. Minister means they took care of all the accounts of the Guru's house. That's how close Bhai Mati Daas ji was to the Guru. They're the Diwan, they're the minister. Who else is with Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah? Bhai Sati Das. Bhai Sati Das is the brother of Bhai Mati Das. They are from the family of Bhai Pirag. The grandfather of Bhai Mati Das and Sati Das is Bhai Piraga ji. Bhai Piraga ji is a Sikh of Guru Arjan Dev ji Paatshah. A Sikh, such a great Sikh, Bhai Piraga ji, that Bhai Gurdas ji wrote about him in the Var saying he's such a great Sikh. They're from that family. Who was Bhai Sati Das ji? Bhai Sati Das ji Gursikh Pyareo Likhari san Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah de. Bhai Sati Das ji, they were the Likhari of Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah. Whenever Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah would recite Bani, whenever they would do bachan, Bhai Sati Das ji would write them down. But they were only learned in Farsi. So they write everything down in Farsi. From Farsi it would be converted to Gurmukhi by Bhai Mani Singh. Bhai Mani Singh Shaheed, the Jinnah de Band Katya Gaya. They would then convert it from Farsi to that. That's how great these Gursikhs, and who else was with them? With them was Bhai Diyala ji. Bhai Diyala ji, Gursikh Pyareo, is one of the 12 brothers of Bhai Mani Singh Shaheed. Bhai Diyala ji is the brother of Bhai Mani Singh. Bhai Diyala ji was a Sikh called a Nikti Sikh. Nikti Sikh means bahut nerla Sikh, someone that is very close to the Guru. When Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Pacha ji left Patna Sahib and Guru Gobind Singh ji Pacha was going to be born, they put Bhai Diyala ji in their place, and they said to the Parwar, if Bhai Diyala ji is here, for you it will feel like that Guru Tegh Bahadur ji is here. There's no difference between us. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Pacha ji wrote a Hukamnama once. The Sangat was asking Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Pacha something. They're saying, jo vi Bhai Diyala ji aakhnage, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਆਖਿਆ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ. Whatever that Bhai Diyala ji says, know that to be the same as what Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Pacha ji wants. That's how close Bhai Diyala ji was. The fourth Sikh with them was Bhai Gurdwara ji. Bhai Gurdwara ji was from the family of Baba Buddha ji. Another Sikh that was with them was Bhai Uday ji. ਐ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮਾਤਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦਰਵਾਜ਼ਾ ਖੜਕਾਉਂਦੇ ਪਏ ਨੇ. ਤਾਂ ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ couldn't believe what she was hearing. She said, ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I was doing ਅਰਦਾਸਾਂ that ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਦੋਂ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਦਓਗੇ, ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਚੋਲਾ ਤਿਆਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ. I've made a ਚੋਲਾ for you ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ. I can't see very well anymore. ਮੇਰੀ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਰੋਸ਼ਨੀ ਚਲ ਗਈ ਆ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ. I can't see very well anymore. I had no hope left in life. All I wanted was, I just wanted your darshan. Once I got your darshan, I wanted to breathe my last. I just wanted to see where this chola wants. और Guru Tegh Bahadur ji se aap tur ke aage, aap chal ke aage is gareeb de ghare. That mata ran over. She opened the door and she sees in front of Guru Tegh Bahadur ji. She cried and she cried and she washed the feet of Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Pacha with her tears. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Pacha wore that chola that she was sewing. They wore that chola, and that Mata ji did matha take in Guru Tegh Bahadur ji's charan and breathed her last. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Agra ਤੋਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਘਰੋਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਨਿਕਲੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਉਧਰੋਂ ਫਿਰ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਭੇਜੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਫੌਜ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੂੰ ਗ੍ਰਿਫਤਾਰ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ. Over here now they've come to arrest Guru Tegh Bahadur ji. 1200 ਫੌਜ ਆਈ ਆ, 1200 of them. They're thinking maybe that they're going to get the Sikhs together and attack us. So 1200 army has come and arrest Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Pacha today. 5 Sikhs ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, they've taken him into a place called Bhutan di Haveli. A haveli is like a big fortress, but it's like a little village in itself with high walls. In there they've went and imprisoned Guru Tegh Bahadur ji with the 5 Sikh. And then why did they put him in the Bhutan di Haveli? Because they said it's a very old haveli that wasn't used for many years, so broken down. And they said there's so many bhoots, there's so many ghosts there, that the ghosts scare people so much. Just with the fear, they say people die in that haveli. But ਇੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਆਏ ਨੇ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਭੈ ਕਾਹੂ ਕੋ ਦੇਤ ਨਹਿ ਭੈ ਮਾਨਤ ਆਨ ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁੰਦਰੇ ਮਨਾ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਤਾਹੇ ਬਖਾਨ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਭੈ ਕਾਹੂ ਕੋ ਦੇਤ ਨਹਿ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I don't give fear to anyone. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਿਓ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਡਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I'm not afraid of anyone as well. ਭੈ ਕਾਹੂ ਕੋ ਦੇਤ ਨਹਿ ਭੈ ਮਾਨਤ ਆਨ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਭੈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੈ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I'm not afraid of anyone as well. ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਿਓ ਭੂਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਡਰਾਉਣ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਇੱਥੇ. No ਭੂਤ's gonna put fear in me. ਇੱਥੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਲਾਹ ਕਰਕੇ ਨਾ, ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ set here to the Sikhs, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ 3 ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੁਣ ਰਹੋ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਭਾਈ ਮਤੀ ਦਾਸ, ਸਤੀ ਦਾਸ ਤੇ ਭਾਈ ਦਿਆਲਾ ਜੀ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you're gonna stay with me. And ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਭਾਈ ਗੁਰਦਿੱਤਾ ਜੀ, and then they say to ਭਾਈ ਉਦੈ ਜੀ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀ ਪਾਉਣੀ ਹੀ ਪਾਉਣੀ ਆ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ we're gonna give Shaheedi here now in Delhi. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I want you to go back. And I want you to sort out the Gurgadi rights for Gobind Rai now by Gurdwara ji nu kiya. Can you go back? Now I want you to sort out all the Gurgadi rights for them. From here, Guru Tegh Bahadur ji started to be tortured. In which way? First of all, they kept hungry. Na pani ditta, na khan nu ditta. Par dekho sikho, Bhai Mati Daas de upar ki beetdi hogi. What do you think Bhai Mati Daas ji must be going through watching all of this? They're seeing the Guru hungry in front of them. ਉਸ ਭੂਤਾਂ ਦੀ ਹਵੇਲੀ ਚੋਂ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ they've taken him out that ਹਵੇਲੀ. ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਪਿੰਜਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ. They've put Guru Maharaj ji in a pinjara, in a cage. But you know how that cage was? That cage was slightly shorter than Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji's height. That cage, Sikha wala pinjara, Sikha pav, they had suhe sige vich, they had spikes in it. Spikes at the back, spikes at the front, and spikes at the top. So Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji couldn't move forward. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji couldn't move back. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji couldn't stand up straight. They were cramped inside of this cage. And now utte khade ho sakde san. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਹਾਲਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਭਾਈ ਮਤੀ ਦਾਸ ਜੀ when they saw Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji in this state ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਭਾਈ ਮਤੀ ਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਕਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗਰੀਬ ਨਵਾਜ਼ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰ ਲਵਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj ਕਹਿੰਦੇ can I do a ਬੇਨਤੀ to you Maharaj ji ਕਹਿੰਦੇ Maharaj ji ਕਹਿੰਦੇ in your charan I have obtained so much ਕਹਿੰਦੇ हे Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੋਂ ਝੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੋਂ ਵੇਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ I can't bear to see you hunger oh Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj ji ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I can't bear to see you trapped in this cage ਕਹਿੰਦੇ हे Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ give me permission ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਲਾਹੌਰ ਤਾਂ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਦੀ ਇੱਟ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਟ ਖੜਕਾ ਦੇਵਾਂ let me kick things off here let me take the brick of Delhi let me take the brick of Lahore and let me smash them together let me show them what the house of Guru Nanak is made out of Bhai Mati Daas ji said Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj ji starts laughing ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਭਾਈ ਮਤੀ ਦਾਸ have you said your bit ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਹਿ ਲਿਆ ਜੋ ਤੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਸੀ ਭਾਈ ਮਤੀ ਦਾਸ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਸੋਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸੇ ਸਮੁੰਦਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸੇ ਸਮੁੰਦਰ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਬੂੰਦ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ on one place there is the ਸਮੁੰਦਰ there is the ocean and on the other side there is a little droplet of that ocean ਭਾਈ ਮਤੀ ਦਾਸ you possess so much power you've got so much shakti you've got so much miracles sitting in your body that you're able to perform this that you're able to clash these bricks together and you're able to show them what we're about. You're able to take the heads of these tyrants and we're able to escape from here. You've got that much power inside of you. Where did you get it from? Kende lei kithe tu? Shakti lei tu kithu? Bhai Mati Daas ji da sir nima ho gaya. Bhai Mati Daas ji puts the head down. Kende Gareeb Nawaz. Kende I've obtained everything from you. Kende Maharaj ji, I understand now. You're the ocean and I'm the droplet. What is the power of a droplet in front of the ocean? You have already got all of these powers. So Maharaj explained to me what is your game. How we can give a Shaheedi with still a smile on our face, that is going to be the miracle that is going to be seen in Delhi. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj said. Can they all show people what a miracle is? Can they, but not the type of miracle that they want to see from us. Eithe jehde jalad sige, and then the guards of the prison, they heard Bhai Mati Daas ji saying all of this. They've gone back. They've gone back and sent messages to Aurangzeb and said the Sikhs of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is talking like this. I think they're going to show Shakti and they're going to show their miracles. Aurangzeb said, tell him and show him what we're about. Kende oda fatwa kadya jave kende o Mati Daas da. Kende that sect whoever said this, kende fatwa means open up the book that when you take out the punishments, the punishment book and see what comes out for him. If he's talking like this about us, let's show him what we're about, Aurangzeb said. Fir Gursikh pyareo ki kita gaya when they opened up the punishment book. Jado Qazi ne jado kholya, a Qazi is somebody that the Islam law that upholds the Islam law. He opens up the punishment book to utte likhya gaya ke inu tusi aare naal cheer do ad vich kar do ida sarir, to cut him into half with the ara. ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਫਤਵਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਸੁਣਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ ਭਾਈ ਮਤੀ ਦਾਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਆਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਚੀਰਿਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ we're going to cut you into half with a saw ਕਹਿੰਦੇ now show us your power ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you know what the power of a Gursikh is Bhai Mati Daas said ਕਹਿੰਦੇ the power of a Gursikh is to remain in the hukam of his guru ਕਹਿੰਦੇ my guru has told me now to remain and endure whatever comes our way because that's my miracle now. My miracle is to follow my Guru's hukam. Bhai Mati Daas nu banniya gaya Gursikh pyareo. That sama came. It's a couple of days before Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji Shaheedi. Everybody's been sent messages, the villagers, everyone, they've been brought into a place called Chandni Chowk in Delhi. Chandni Chowk is where many have been killed in front of people. They have heard the screams and cries of many people in Chandni Chowk. Everybody has gathered and Gursikh pyareo amongst this there's a pyara Gursikh that is standing in the crowd and watching all of this now today. This Gursikh's name is Bhai Jeta Ji. He's a Sikh of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji. Bhai Jeta Ji is watching that Bhai Mati Daas Ji has been tied up. Bhai Mati Daas Ji's arms have been put out with ropes. They have tied their arms, and in between they've got wood, lakkad in between them, and on top there is a big ara. Just before they've taken that sword to Bhai Mati Daas Ji, they start sharpening the teeth of this blade. And they say to Bhai Mati Daas, can they look over? Can they look, can they, the blades of this sword are being sharpened for you? Can they, tere man vich dar nahi, tere man vich bhai nahi, aren't you afraid? Why are you going to take death? Why don't you take Islam instead? Why don't you become a Mu'min? Why don't you become a Musliman? Can they, why don't you take this offer? Can you take Islam? Can they dekh lo? Can it's very simple. Can they, on one side you've got Islam. Can you can become a Musliman. With that comes what? The luxuries of life, the pleasures of life. You can have a palace. You can have as many beautiful women as you want. You can have the best bandage made out of chandi, made out of silver. Can they, on one side you've got to give up your guru and you get everything in life. And on one side you've got Guru Tegh Bahadur, and with Guru Tegh Bahadur you've got a soul. Make up your mind, what do you want? They say to Bhai Mati Daas Ji. Bhai Mati Daas Ji said, I can only make that decision when Hon Gursikh Pyareo na, we're coming to an end of today's Katha. But hon सारे ने एकाग्रता करनी है. We're going to be completely focused. सारे हूँ ध्यान जोड़ के ना. We not got much left of this diwan now. बस हूँ सारे ने जोड़ के बैठ जाना. बस हिल जोल नहीं करनी हूँ. जे किसी ने उठना होण विच उठ जो, पर हुण दोबारा उठना नहीं. हुण जिहड़ी आपां गल शुरू करन लगे आ, बस दोबारा हुण उठना नहीं संगत विचों. गुरसिख प्यारिओ, इत्थे ना हुण दो चीज़ां. Now I want you to bring this in front of your eyes. They've said to Bhai Mati Daas, they said on one side you've got a guru, Tegh Bahadur Ji Paatshah Varge. With that you've got a ara, with that you've got a sword with sharp teeth. On the other side you can become a Musliman, you've got Islam. With that you've got the pleasures of the world, you've got women, you've got wine, got everything you can imagine. Can they, what do you want? Can they, it's an easy choice, isn't it? And Bhai Mati Daas Ji said, can they wait? Can they, before I met Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, before I had a guru in my life, can they, I've had the luxuries of life. I've lived in nice houses. I've seen everything else. I've seen a life without the guru. I've seen all of that. And then I've had a life with my guru. But there's one thing I haven't seen yet. I haven't seen what it is to have an ara, to have the blade go through my head. I haven't tasted that yet. For me to make my decision, don't cut me in half completely yet. Show me the taste of this ara. Kehndे मैनू इस आरे दा कehndे स्वाद ता चखाओ पहला. कehndे मैनू इस आरे दा स्वाद कehndे चखाओ. I want to taste this ara first. Then I'll tell you that do I want Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji with the ara, or do I want the life that you are saying that I can have? First I want to taste this ara. Gursikh Pyareo, remember this now. Kisi nu gooli de naal maar dena badi sakhali gall a. To shoot somebody is very easy. That's it, they're dead, they're gone. To hang somebody, they're hung and they're gone. But imagine an ara ripping through your body. I'm going to speak about it and it's going to be over within a few seconds. I'm not going to come even anywhere near to the experience what it could be to have an ara going through this body. Not even anywhere near it. Bhai Mati Daas Ji's got a smile on the face. Kehndे मैनू स्वाद चखाओ कehndे आरे दा. Gursikh Pyareo, उत्थे आरा शुरू किया गया Bhai Mati Daas Ji वास्ते. तिखे तिखे दंदे Bhai Mati Daas Ji दे सीस विचों जदों उन्होंने चलाया ना आरा, एकदम, it only took 1/10 of that blade going through Bhai Mati Daas Ji's cease. And Gursikh Pyareo, just before they did this, they took off the dastar that Bhai Mati Daas Ji's got on their cease. Dastar pehla lai gayi, the hair is put down. उन्हां दे केसां विच चीर पाया गया. Cheer means when the hair is split, the hair is this way and the hair is this way. Bhai Mati Daas Ji right in the middle of the head, जदों आरा चलाया at once, कहंदे दो उंगलां जदों धस गईयां ना आरे दियां Bhai Mati Daas Ji दे सीस दे विच, in their head, 2 fingers deep, the ara has gone through and a fountain of blood has squirted out of Bhai Mati Daas Ji's head. ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ when that fountain of blood has come out of their head, it's coloured their complete face in blood. Their whole beard is dripping in blood. Gursikh pyareo, and Bhai Mati Daas ji's got a smile on their face. The jalad ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਡਰ ਗਏ. The executioners, they're afraid. They're afraid at looking at Bhai Mati Daas ji's smile, and they've stopped. They're nearly in tears. This is why are you putting yourself through this? You still got a choice. You can still be sewn back up. Now tell us. Tell us tenu ki pyara lagda. Is this aura pleasing to you? Or is that life pleasing to you, that full of pleasure with Islam? And Bhai Mati Daas ji ne ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗਾਂ ਕੇ ਕਿਹਾ Bhai Mati Daas ji ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆਰਾ ਪਿਆਰਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਆਰਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਿਆਰਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ this aura is pleasing to me. ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਦੇ the ਸ਼ਬਦ ਭਾਈ ਭਗਤ ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ, it feels like that shabad was written for Bhai Mati Daas ji Shaheedi. Bhai Mati Daas ji has started to sing this shabad out. They're saying, I remember when me and my guru would sit and sing this shabad, that time of this shabad has come into my life. They started to sing, they said, Karvat pala na karvat teri, lag gale sun benti meri. This is Karvat pala. Karvat means ara. Ara means so. Bhai Mati Daas ji singing the words of Bhai Bhagat Kabir ji. Bhagat Kabir ji only sang these words. Bhai Mati Daas ji is living these words. Karvat means so. Bhai Mati Daas ji singing out loud, they saying Karvat pala. Kende this aura is pleasing to me. Kende aura pyara lagta hai. Kende this aura kende bahut kende mainu sona laga aura. Kyon? Because I still have Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah ji beside me. Kende Karvat pala na karvat teri. Karvat means back. Kende but if I had your back to me, O Guru Tegh Bahadur ji, that wouldn't be pleasing to me. Kende but this aura is. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਰਵਟ ਭਲਾ ਨਾ ਕਰਵਟ ਤੇਰੀ ਲਾਗ ਗਲੇ ਸੁਣ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਮੇਰੀ. It gets a little intimate here, the relationship between Bhai Mati Daas and Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah. From inside they're saying ਲਾਗ ਗਲੇ ਸੁਣ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਮੇਰੀ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ hey Guru Tegh Bahadur ji, you might be in a cage, I might be trapped in this piece of wood, but there is nothing that can depart us anymore. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਲਾਗ ਗਲੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਗਲੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੱਗ ਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਸੁਣੋ Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Maharaj. Why don't you embrace me but not from outside now, Guru Tegh Bahadur ji? I want you to come close to me from inside now. Lag gale sun benti meri, how wari muk fer pyar. How wari? Hey Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Sache Paatshah, I am about to sacrifice myself for you. How wari muk fer pyar. All I want from you is Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah, that you are facing me. They asked Bhai Mati Daas ji, what are your last wishes, what are your last rights? All I want is Hawari Mukh Pher Pyare, that you turn around Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah ji's cage, that I can do the darshan, I can see the face of my Guru. Hawari Mukh Pher Pyare. Karvat de moko kahe ko mare. If you ask me what is death, I don't believe that this aura can kill me. This body will drop, but I don't believe that to be death. The only thing that can kill me, Bhai Mati Daas ji is saying, if Guru Tegh Bahadur ji back was towards me. Je kite Guru Tegh Bahadur ji peth mere wal hundi, fir samjh lo Bhai Mati Daas mar gaya, then there is death for me. Karvat de moko kahe ko mare. Why are you killing me, Guru Tegh Bahadur ji? You would be killing me when? If your back was towards me. Gursikh pyare ho. Over here, Bhagat Kabir ji saying, jo tan cheer hai, jo tan cheer hai, angna moro. If you used to cut me in half, look at these words, word for word. Bhagat Kabir ji writes this 200 years before. Bhai Mati Daas ji singing it today and living it today. This is jo tan cheer hai. If you used to cut me into half, cheer hai. Jo tan cheer hai. Angna moro, I won't flinch a limb this way or that way. मैं हिलूंगा नहीं. पिंड परे तो प्रीत ना तोरो. मेरा पिंडा भावे डिग जावे, even if this body falls, even if I die, प्रीत ना तोरो. But I won't lose my love for you, O Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Maharaj ji. मैं मेरा प्रेम नहीं तो आप जी वास्ते छड्डूंगा. भावे शरीर भी चल जावे, किते प्रकार ना टूटो प्रीत दास तेरे की निर्मल रीत. Kite prakar na tuto preet, no matter what comes, I won't break my love for you, Guru Tegh Bahadur ji. But these words, Gursikh pyareo na. Bhai Mati Daas ji ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ, ਹੁਣ ਸੁਣੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਗਤ ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ. कहते हम तुम बीच भयो नहीं कोई हम गुरु तेग भाई मती कहते हम तुम talking to गुरु तेग बहादुर कहते हम तुम बीच भयो नहीं कोई कहते हे गुरु तेग बहादुर जी कहते there is nothing between us now. These luxuries, these pleasures of the world, they didn't lure me, so there's just me and you. कहते हम तुम बीच भयो नहीं कोई कहते तुम है सो कांत कहते हे गुरु तेग बहादुर जी महाराज जी कहते तुम है सो कांत कहते यू आर माई हस्बैंड कहते नार हम सोई कहते आई एम योर वाइफ. How is Bhai Mati Daas ji and Guru Tegh Bahadur ji in this equation? How is Guru Tegh Bahadur ji the husband and how is Bhai Mati Daas ji the wife? Bhai Mati Daas ji कहने लगे कहते तुम है सो कांत कहते गुरु तेग बहादुर जी पातशाह कहते वेखो मेरे वाल कहते गुरु तेग बहादुर जी कहते look at me कहते you know when there's a suhagan is a happily married bride, a happily married wife. कहते गुरु तेग बहादुर जी कहते you must have seen many times कहते जो सुहागन कहते करदी की है अपने पति वास्ते she tells the world वो संसार नू दसदी कहती मैं एक I am such a happy bride कहते पातशाह जी कहते वो अपने केसां विच चीर पाउंदी आ चीर भाव चीर means split कहते a happy married bride she tells the world I love my husband so much I then split my hair open then I put sandoor into my hair. Sandoor is a red powder. Bhai Mati Daas ji saying how are you the husband and how am I the wife? Kande suhagan if you see culturally this is nothing to do with Sikhi. Bhai Mati Daas ji कहने लगे कहते a bride takes sandoor a red powder चीर पा के ना अपने केसां विच ता अपनी she splits her hair open in the middle of her head she's got red powder running through her head and Bhai Mati Daas ji कहते वेखो गुरु तेग बहादुर जी पातशाह कहते आज मैं आप जी दा सुहागन बन गया कहते गुरु तेग बहादुर जी महाराज जी कहते सुहागन ता अपने केसां विच चीर पाउंदी कहते पर Bhai Mati Daas ने आप जी वास्ते कहते अपने सिर विच ही चीर पा लिया कहते a woman she puts a split in her hair but Bhai Mati Daas is such a wife to you loves you so much I put a cut and I've split my head open for you O Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Maharaj कहते a woman she takes red powder कहते हे Guru Tegh Bahadur ji पातशाह आज मैं भी कहते मेरे सिर विच कहते संदूर पाया कहते लाल रंग कहते खून दा कहते आज मैं तेरे प्रेम विच कहते मैं संदूर पाया हे पातशाह कहते this is how I am your wife कहते एक इस्त्री तक कहते एक लाल रंग का संदूर पाउंदी कहते मैं तो अज लाल रंग का कहते खून कहते मेरे सीस विच कहते तेरे प्यार विच पा लिया गुरु तेग बहादुर जी महाराज गुरसिख प्यारिओ उथे फिर गुरु तेग बहादुर जी महाराज जी smiling गुरु तेग बहादुर जी महाराज जी is laughing and the jalad the executor turns around to Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Maharaj ji they said why are you laughing why are you smiling wouldn't a teacher be happy when his student is passing with flying colors? What more result would I want from Bhai Mati Daas? Could I ask for anything more out of him? Bhai Mati Daas said, now listen to my second thing that I want out of you. First thing I said, I want to be facing my Guru and I'm facing my Guru. The second thing I want out of you is, aara holi holi chalayo. Take your time with the aura, take your time with the soul, because now I'm ready. मैं हुण गुरु नानक पातशाह दा जपजी साहब दी बाणी शुरू करन लगा आ. I'm just about to start reading the बाणी of Guru Nanak Dev Ji सच्चे पातशाह. But I want you to cut me so slowly, because I don't want you to reach my tongue, because I want to complete a japji sahib da part before you cut this tongue into half. गुरु तेग बहादुर जी पातशाह दी उधरों आवाज आई कहंदे नहीं भाई मती दास कहंदे नहीं भाई मती दास you have faith in Guru Nanak's बाणी कहंदे you have faith in Guru Nanak's बाणी कहंदे this बाणी is such that I want you to become like the fish and the water. कहंदे remember the fish in the water. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Maharaj is बाणी saying to the world गुण गोविंद गायो नहीं जन्म अकारत कीन कहो नानक हर भज मना जह बिद जल को मीन. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah saying कहंदे listen Bhai Mati Das, don't worry about your tongue being split into half. Think about the fish in the water. Why don't you love Guruji? Why don't you love the Guru just like that fish loves the water? How? Jeh bid jal ko meen re man aisi hasyo preet kar jaisi machli neer. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah saying, can they love Can they love Waheguru Ji just like that fish loves the water? Can they have faith in Guru Nanak Paatshah Ji's Bani? Don't worry about this tongue being split into half. Don't you remember what Bhagat Ravidas Ji said? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਭਗਤ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਭਗਤ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ ਜੀ says ਮੀਨ ਪਕੜ ਫਾਂਕਿਓ ਅਰ ਕਾਟਿਓ ਰਾਂਦ ਕਿਓ ਬਹੁ ਬਾਣੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਰਾਂਦ ਕਿਓ ਬਹੁ ਬਾਣੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਖੰਡ ਖੰਡ ਕਰ ਭੋਜਨ ਕੀਨੋ ਤੂੰ ਨਾ ਬਿਸਰਿਓ ਪਾਣੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਭਗਤ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I want you to remember this one thing that ਭਗਤ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ ਜੀ said ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਭਗਤ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ ਜੀ said ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੀਨ ਪਕੜ Phankyo or katyo, just like that fisherman takes that fish out of the water. Meen pakad, he takes hold of that fish out of the water, Bhagat Ravidas Ji's Bani. I want you to love Waheguru Ji and the Guru in such a way that you don't need to worry that your tongue is going to be cut into half. Meen pakad, that fisherman takes the fish out of the water, meen pakad phankyo, it rips the skin off the fish. Meen pakad phankyo ar katyo, it cuts that fish into pieces. Then rand kiyo bahu bani, and then it takes that fish and it puts it into that patila, it puts it into that pot, it puts masala into it and it starts to fry that fish. Every piece of drop of last piece of water that is left in that fish, it evaporates and it leaves. There is nothing left of that fish. It's been cut into pieces. Then Bhagat Ravidas Ji says, Kende khand kar bhojan kino. Then that person takes it in between these teeth, that fish. Khand means tote means pieces. It chews that fish into little pieces. Khand kar bhojan kino. It makes it into its food. Look at the story that Bhagat Ravidas Ji is telling about the fish. Par Gursikh Pyareo, what is Bhagat Ravidas Ji telling the world here? The fish loves the water so immensely, that person that eats that fish, he wakes up in the middle of the night again and again and again. Why? Because he's so thirsty, he gets up and he drinks water. That person that's eaten that fish that day, he's thinking, I've eaten so many things. I ate roti yesterday, I ate this yesterday, I slept throughout the night, but today I've woke up 2 to 3 times out of the night, my mouth is completely dry. Onu eh nahi pata jehdi machhi tere andar baithi a na, onu pani naal inna pyar a, une tote ho ke vi pani nu andar khich liya. It's got so much love for the water that fish has. There's nothing left of that fish. It's been cut into pieces, but so much love, it makes that person get so thirsty, he wakes up in the middle of the night, that the fish is reunited with the water. And then Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Paatshah is saying to Bhai Mati Daas, what are you worried about? If a fish can be cut into pieces, apne vaste Guru di bani paniya. For us, the Guru's Bani is water. Bhai Mati Daas, even if your whole body, when your whole body is cut into half and it falls one way and falls the other way, your body will still recite the words of Guru Nanak Paatshah. Just like that fish is pulling the water back in, your body, each roam, each pore of your body will recite the words of Guru Nanak Paatshah Ji's Bani. Gursikh Pyareo, ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਹੋਇਆ Bhai Mati Daas Ji ਦਾ ਸੀਸ ਕੱਟਿਆ ਗਿਆ, the whole body is cut into half. Bhai Mati Daas Ji is reading Japji Sahib. When after they've cut the tongue of Bhai Mati Daas Ji, Bhai Mati Daas Ji saying, ek du jipo lakh hoye, lakh hove, lakh vees, lakh geda aakhiye hai, ek naam Jagdish. They said, you can try and cut this body into pieces, but my Guru's Bani has gone into each pore of my body now. And that Japji Sahib resounded throughout each pore of Bhai Mati Daas Ji's body. Gursikh Pyareo. So, इतनी बेनतियाँ प्रवान करनियाँ एक नहीं पर अनेका ही गलतियाँ हो गया हन. Must have made many mistakes. If you want to listen to the rest of this itihas, we're going to pick up from Bhai Sati Das, Bhai Diyala Ji, and then Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Shaheedi, but we're not going to stop there. That the journey of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji ceased. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji ceased, travelled from Delhi to Anandpur Sahib and stopped off at 5 places. And Gursikh Pyareo, our itihas is so powerful that we don't need to lecture anyone. If we can just tell the world our history, that is enough to churn out Sikhs. So, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.